Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a particularly windy day in Kansas. We're here today to witness a very rare event. The BMW has an issue. I say issue, it's not really that bad, it's just a little bit of a noise that it has occasionally on startup. Here's a clip. I don't think there's any sound quite as nice as a BMW cold start in the morning. Of course, there's some belt noise there. Brand new belts, but it was so cold that frost had formed on them. But what you're hearing there is, I believe, the main timing chain tensioner. On these cars, after a significant amount of miles, the little bitty spring inside of them will start to lose its tension, and you get that rattle on cold start while it builds the oil pressure back up to fully pump the timing chain tensioner back up. Words are difficult this morning, I apologize. Fortunately, this is extremely simple to do. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to take the timing cover off, I'm gonna have to take the valve cover off, remove the vanos, all kinds of stuff. No, you need one tool. It's this tool. Well, okay, I guess this might actually count as two tools. A 32mm socket on a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. And what we're after is kind of hard to show. If it can focus, that'd be a good start. But right at the end of my fingertip there is sort of a round thing, and there's a hex on that round thing down past the AC lines. That is the tensioner. It is externally accessible. All we have to do is get it out of there. First though, I'm gonna put some towels down because oil and exhaust and other stuff. All right, let's see if I can feed this down there. Oh, that boy tight. There it goes. I probably should note that this is a little easier for me than anyone else because my secondary air injection is deleted. For everyone else, you'll probably want to remove your washer reservoir here and use some extensions and swivels and all the rest of it. There is a copper crush washer here, and you want to make sure that that comes off with it so that you don't accidentally double gasket it when you put all this back together. And I'm sorry about the camera angle. There's really no way to show what's happening. I'm just unscrewing that massive 32mm hex, and there it just popped out of the engine. And I can now remove it. There it is. Oh God, it's dripping out oil everywhere. Can't have that. Here is the entire assembly. That is the whole thing. There's the oil feed hole there. There's the copper crush washer. And yeah, so all that happens is this spring here just loses its springiness over time. And I don't think this is much of an issue with other cars. What I assume is the case on other cars is they have like a check valve so that this maintains its oil pressure when the engine is off. But a check valve can clog up, and then you have problems. This is less likely to clog up, but, you know, your spring will go bad. Now that my hands are all dirty again, I got from Bimmer World some candy, but also the genuine BMW timing chain tensioner spring and a new crush washer, and also some stickers it looks like, so that's pretty cool. Those can adorn my toolbox later. But what we have here is new crush washer and a new spring. If we compare the links here, you can see that the new spring is a little more springy than the old one. It's a little longer and quite a bit stiffer. So really all you do is plop this new one in there and it's good to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go clean this because, ew, just going to give this whole thing a bit of a spritz. The internals are fine, but gross. And we're back with some significantly cleaner pieces here, so we can just drop our new spring in, and it sits down in there a little bit. This just slides over it, and there we go. New washer, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It's ready to go. is significantly stiffer than it was. I feel good about that. Let's see if I can feed this back in here. Gotta fight against the spring. There we go. All right, it started. Now it's just the tedious threading it in. And boy, this is a walk in the park compared to what I've been spending the rest of my week doing. I've had just a never-ending series of issues, one of which you saw on Watch JR Go's channel, where the fuel pump died in my Ford Ranger. But simultaneously, I was literally on the phone with my wife when the fuel pump died in the Ranger, because the fuel pump had died in the insight, and I didn't film any of replacing that because, well, there was a bit of a time crunch to get it done before she needed it this weekend, and filming just makes things take longer. And it's a fuel pump replacement. It's nothing you all haven't seen before, so I just didn't really bother with the filming aspect of it. But we did end up getting the Insight's fuel pump replaced. Unfortunately, the problem wasn't just the pump. When the pump went out, it also took out the main connection on the fuel sending unit, which is built into the fuel sending unit, which is completely in LA these days. You can't buy it anywhere for any price. Fortunately, I am who I am, and I have a parts car. So I went to the parts car, which had been probably sitting for 10 plus years, possibly more, and grabbed the fuel pump out of it, or the fuel sending unit out of it, rather, and rebuilt it. Survey says maybe an MPEG swivel isn't the correct tool for this job. There we go, different swivel was the key. So I removed the sending unit out of the parts car, took it apart, and of course the pump in it was just a solid lump of rust, and I used basically the entirety of a can of brake clean to clean up the sending unit itself. The fuel pump from a 2000 Honda Civic was a perfect fit into that sending unit. So we refurbished the sending unit and got it put into the car later the next evening. And it runs great, so that's promising. Seems to be doing fine so far. I think that the fuel level sender in this one is actually good too, so that's a nice bonus to finally have functional fuel sending unit in that car. Now, with most things on a German car, there is a torque spec, and the torque spec here is 70 Newton meters. I don't know what a Newton meter is. Furthermore, my torque wrench does not fit down in here, so I'm just going with the universal German torque spec, which is Guten tight. There it is, all shiny and happy and resplendent, right down in there. Yeah, it's about time I actually show what the heck we were actually doing. And this is the socket swivel boy that I ended up using. So at this point, I clean my hands. All right, hands are clean, let's give it a shot. Let's keep an eye out for oil leakage. Not seeing any yet, but let's just let it idle for a while. Try out some candy. Haribo gummy bears. Actual in German. I guess that makes sense. This is the first thing I've eaten today, so let's just really do a whoop-de-doo with my blood sugar. They are good though. At least they're not the sugar-free ones. Those will wreak havoc on your internals. I'm pretty sure they're banned by the Geneva Convention. Idling nice and smooth. Very smooth, in fact. I'm not sure if that's placebo or what. Let's go see if there's any leaks. I'm gonna go with not a darn thing. Nope, no oil, just some dirt. Sweet, let's drive it. Okay, well I guess I should put this away first. Just do a little bit of a second gear pull. Yep, feels exactly the same, which it should. It'd take quite a bit for the cam chain tensioner to really affect the way the car drives. It'll just be a little less clattery on cold starts now when it's been sitting for a day or two, which, you know, that's always nice. And it's nice to know that the car is just that little bit healthier than it was, what, a half hour ago? This took maybe a half hour, and most of that was talking to the camera and switching batteries, because of course my battery was almost dead. Yep, still drives like a car. No problems here, fellas. Well, that was a quick one, but a good one. For once, a project with no weird hiccups. I can't say I've had many of those this week. But I hope this helps any of you out who are having some strange noises on startup. Thanks for watching.